Hello and welcome to K News. This is Hardik Trivedi. Let's have a look on what is happening in India and in the world. Hundreds of Israelis protested on Saturday evening against Benjamin Netanyahu outside his Jerusalem residence as the Israeli Prime Minister faces corruption charges. The demonstration was fueled by the detention of 7 protesters on Friday, who held a smaller rally against Netanyahu's continuation as premier despite being under indictment. The demonstrators held banners describing Netanyahu as Prime Minister. Among the 7 detainees was a former top Israeli Air Force general. On Saturday, Israeli police said the protest a day earlier was illegal because demonstrators blocked the roads. 3 of the protesters, including retired Brigadier General Amir Hashkal, remained in detention for refusing the police release terms and insisting on participating in Saturday's protest, Israeli media reported. Last month, Netanyahu's trial on charges of fraud, breach of trust and accepting bribes opened in a Jerusalem court. It is scheduled to resume next month. Netanyahu's new government took office last month, ending more than a year of political stalemate. Under a power-sharing deal, Netanyahu was permitted to remain as prime minister, while his rival Benny Gantz was named defense minister and alternate prime minister. 2 men have agreed to switch posts after 18 months, though many analysts do not expect the government to last that long. Indian and Japanese warships conducted exercises in Indian Ocean on Saturday, announced the navies of both the countries. The Japanese Maritime Self-Defense Force described the maneuvers as designed to promote mutual understanding and consisted of 4 warships, 2 from each country. Naval exercises are now routine between India and Japan, but the timing of the present exercise will be bracketed with the military standoff between India and China in Ladakh. We are using the exercises for strategic communications, said Vice Admiral Pradeep Chauhan, Director General of the National Maritime Foundation. The navies were not there for combat purposes but for signaling. We need to be proximate with our friends, and the Chinese know there is a direct ladder of escalation between Japan and the United States, said the Vice Admiral. The Indian Navy training vessels INS Rana and INS Kalash were joined by the Japanese Navy's JS Kashiyama and JS Shiyamuki. The Japanese embassy in New Delhi said this was the 15th such exercise in 3 years. The content of this exercise is tactical and communications training, said embassy spokesperson Toshihide Endo, with no specific scenario. The Japanese Navy has been one of the principal partners of the Indian Navy. Indian naval ships take part in the exercise both bilaterally with their Japanese counterparts and as part of Malabar exercises, which include the United States. Japan was one of the few countries who publicly supported India during the Doklam crisis. New Delhi and Beijing have preferred to let the Ladakh crisis be handled bilaterally. One reason is it rejected US President Donald Trump's offer of mediation. Tokyo has only expressed condolences over the deaths of the Indian soldiers in Galwan Valley and pointedly said nothing about the Chinese casualties. Japan has one of the best non-nuclear submarines in the world and cutting-edge anti-submarine warfare technology. Masashi Nishihara, head of the Japanese defense think tank Research Institute for Peace and Security, says we are leaders in submarine detection. Not only can we find them, we can identify any variety of submarine. Union Home Minister Amit Shah made a scathing attack on former Congress President Rahul Gandhi, accusing him of indulging in shallow politics. We are fully capable of handling anti-India propaganda, but it does pain when a former president of such a big political party does shallow politics at a time of problems, Shah said in an interview. Gandhi has been leading the Congress attack on the face-off between India and Chinese soldiers in Ladakh's Galwan Valley, in which 20 Indian soldiers were killed. He even accused Prime Minister Narendra Modi of surrendering India's territory to China, using the words "Surrender Modi" for him on Twitter. It is a matter of self-introspection for him and Congress that his hashtag is being taken forward by Pakistan and China. It is not for me, it is a matter of concern for Congress that hashtag of their leader is being encouraged by Pakistan and China. You say what China and Pakistan like, and at this time of crisis, Shah said. He also said that the government is ready for discussion on the issue in Parliament. There will be Parliament session if you want to discuss, and we will. Let everything be discussed from 1962 to today. No one is of discussion, but when the soldiers of our country are making efforts, the government is taking solid steps after taking a stand. At that time, making statements that please Pakistan and China should not be done. He also took on Congress for not appointing anyone apart from the members of the Gandhi family, its president. Gandhi and Congress party have been attacking the government since the June 15 skirmish. On Friday, Gandhi posted a video and said Prime Minister Narendra Modi should tell the truth, as several accounts were saying that China has made incursions in eastern Ladakh. The swarm of locusts, which was seen in different parts of Delhi NCR, including Gurugram and South Delhi on Saturday, has reached Kasganj in western Uttar Pradesh after an unsuccessful attempt to control it. A top official of the Locust Warning Organization said on Sunday, "We could not control the entire swarm. They flew again early Sunday morning. We have arranged for drones, fire brigades, apart from 7 teams with sprayer mounted on vehicles. We are trying our best to control it. Control operations will begin again tonight. Teams are moving with the swarm," said K.L. Gurjar, Deputy Director, Locust Warning Organization. LWO also has several teams in Rajasthan that are trying to control fresh swarms coming in from Pakistan and Iran. Control operations have been strengthened at the border to ensure swarms don't come in, Gurjar said. Meanwhile, with monsoon approaching, the arid regions of the Rajasthan breeding of locusts have started in several pockets, Gurjar had said on Saturday. Locusts have laid eggs and hoppers have emerged, but we will manage to control these hoppers immediately. The Food and Agriculture Organization released its Desert Locust Situation Update on Saturday, where it said that although control operations continue, a general northerly movement of small swarms will occur in 3 countries. Some of the swarms in northwest Kenya are expected to transit through South Sudan to reach the summer breeding areas of Sudan, where some rains have already started. If these rains are not enough, there is a risk that swarms could continue to eastern Chad and spread westwards across the northern Sahel of West Africa. Swarms that accumulate in northern Somalia are likely to migrate across the Indian Ocean to the summer breeding areas along the Indo-Pakistan border. The case of a father and son who died in Tamil Nadu's Tuticorin amid allegations of police brutality in custody will be handed over to the CBI, Chief Minister Palaniswamy said today. The controversial case sparked massive outrage across the country after the father and son were allegedly tortured by the police before being sent to jail for apparently keeping their shop open beyond permissible hours during lockdown. The government has decided to have a CBI probe. We would hand over the case to CBI with permission from the Madras High Court. We would do this during the next hearing. Presently, the Madras High Court is probing on its own, the Chief Minister said. J. Jairaj and Benix Emmanuel were subjected to brutal torture in police custody. A letter from Jairaj's wife to government officials states she has demanded action against the policeman involved in the case, which has been widely compared to the death of George Floyd in the United States. Palaniswamy and his deputy Pannir Selvam had in a statement called the deaths very unfortunate and vowed justice in the case. The state's opposition DMK had said that they will request for a CBI probe into the deaths. In court, in the state government does not investigate it properly, Party Chief M.K. Stalin said on Saturday. Actor-politician Kamal Hassan had lashed out the Chief Minister and his government over the case, labeling them prime accused. He was among many who hit out at the government. Lakhs of tweets were sent out using the hashtag Justice for Jairaj and Benix, with celebrities and politicians condemning the police action. Jairaj and Benix were picked on Friday, June 19, for breaching coronavirus lockdown rules. The police in Satharakulam, a town located 50 kilometers south of the port city of Tuticorin, said in FIR. The family has alleged injuries to the rectum and pointed to other alleged signs of torture, like tufts of hair pulled from the chest, and demanded murder charges against the cop involved. Jairaj and his son had been charged with criminal intimidation and verbally abusing police officers. There was a massive protest in Tuticorin, with shops closed in the district and other parts of Tamil Nadu on Friday. Palaniswamy has announced a total of rupees 20 lakh as compensation and a job for the family. Family members had first refused to accept their bodies after an autopsy. They accepted the bodies the next day, expressing hope they would get justice and following assurances given by the officials. It's time for a short break. We'll join you in a short while.
వేసవి అవుతుంది ఫన్ with the cooler number one. ఇక చేసుకో more fun ఉంటే cooler number one. ఇక don't run from the sun ఉంటే Genstar number one. दीवाना 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 इतना सुंदर जैसे कोई सपना सुहाना मैं दीवाना दीवाना
खजारिया टाइल्स, जो देखे वो दीवाना।
Welcome back to K News and thank you for watching. Let's continue the streak of news. Union Home Minister Amit Shah has said he disagrees with Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia that the national capital will have 5.5 lakh COVID-19 cases by the end of July. Around the second week of June, Delhi Deputy Chief Minister Manish Sisodia said that 5.5 lakh persons infected with the virus by July 31. He said that there will be no place left, no beds left, and the situation will be difficult. This created a lot of fear in the minds of people in Delhi. Shah said in an interview, "I don't want to go into whether estimate was right or wrong, but a situation of fear arose, and some people started mulling an exodus." On June 9, Sisodia had said that the cases in Delhi would rise to 2.5 lakh by July 15, and the government would require 33,000 beds. He further told media persons that till July 31, there will be 5.5 lakh cases in the national capital. Sisodia was addressing a press briefing after a meeting called to discuss if there was community transmission of COVID-19 cases in Delhi. "I can say now with the confidence that situation of 5.5 lakh cases will not come on July 31, Shah said on Sunday, adding that a crucial meeting was called after Sisodia's comment. The center stepped in after the spike of COVID-19 cases in the national capital. Shah held a series of meetings with Lieutenant Governor Anil Baijal, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal, and even the civic officials of the national capital to understand the situation and launch a program to check the rapid spread of the coronavirus disease. A revised plan to combat COVID-19 was formulated, and the Delhi government started door-to-door surveys, which are expected to complete by June 30. The center had emphasized on increasing testing and formulating a plan for containment zones. India has given a befitting response to those who dared to eye our territory in Ladakh, Prime Minister Narendra Modi said today, referring to the clash with Chinese troops in Galwan Valley on June 15, in which 20 soldiers were killed in action. In this context, he also spoke of the economic backlash against China, mentioning how people have decided to boycott Chinese goods and how it will contribute to an Atmanirbhar Bharat. Those who eyed Indian territory in Ladakh have received a befitting response, the Prime Minister said in his monthly radio address, Man Ki Baat. If India knows how to maintain friendship, it can also confront someone and give an adequate response. Our brave soldiers made it clear that they will not allow anyone to taint the honor of Mother India, he added, referring to the clash in which 20 Indian soldiers were killed in the line of duty. India bows to our brave martyrs. They have always kept India safe. Valor will always be remembered, the Prime Minister said. The army believes that the Chinese suffered 45 casualties during the late night skirmish on June 15. Chinese military leaders are believed to have conveyed to their Indian counterparts the loss of a Chinese colonel in the fighting as well. In its hardest statement so far, the Foreign Ministry made it clear that China has made repeated incursions into Indian territory this year in complete disregard of mutually agreed norms. Since early May, the Chinese side has been amassing a large contingent of troops and armaments along the LAC, the ministry said. Union Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman on Sunday criticized the Trinamool Congress government in West Bengal for allegedly opposing the pro-people policies of the centre and said the state could not be made a beneficiary of the Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan as it had not provided any data on migrant labourers. The West Bengal government has been opposing all pro-people policies. 6 states have shared data on migrant workers following their return. West Bengal, however, did not. Our Prime Minister launched a scheme which covers 116 districts in the country, but none from Bengal could be included, as the TMC government did not bother to share any data with us. The ruling dispensation in Bengal does not want any of the center's welfare policies to be implemented. Senior TMC leaders had recently criticized the union government for not making the state a beneficiary in the Garib Kalyan Rozgar Abhiyan, a job scheme for migrant laborers. Ms. Sitaraman, however, appreciated the Chief Minister for her support to the central government on the issue of the Sino-India border standoff. Terming the TMC government as anti-people, Ms. Sitaraman said the state was informed about Cyclone Amphan 11 days in advance, but it failed to take adequate precautions. Several lives could have been saved if timely measures were taken. On West Bengal's alleged unwillingness to bring back migrant laborers, Nirmala Sitharaman said it was the only state that was not keen on taking its workers back. Criticizing the state government over the mishandling of COVID-19 crisis in the state, Ms. Sitharaman also said that the interministerial center team that visited the state for assessing the situation had to face several roadblocks. There are no plans to sell non-core assets, including subsidiaries. In the current financial year, Punjab National Bank Managing Director S.S. Mallikarjuna Rao said. However, the bank intends to sell some of its real estate assets and properties, including its old headquarter building. We have a lot of real estate assets because of the merger. We are planning to sell some of them. We are planning to sell a good amount of these assets by the end of the third quarter, provided the market is available. We will be not selling at a discounted price. PNB has a number of associates like PNB Housing Finance Limited with 32.65% stake and PNB MetLife with 30% shares. After merger of Oriental Bank of Commerce with PNB beginning April 1, it has some more associates in its fold, including Canara HSBC OBC Life Insurance with 23% stake. Insurance Regulatory and Development Authority of India has given PNB permission to continue to hold both the companies. Rao said, adding that the lender will continue to hold stake in both PNB MetLife and Canara HSBC OBC Life Insurance. Last year, PNB terminated the agreements with General Atlantic Group and Verde Partners to sell its stake in PNB Housing Finance. The bank had said it will continue to be sole promoter of PNB Housing Finance post the termination of the pacts and stay strategically invested in its housing finance arm. Of the two agreements, the one with Verde Partners was terminated mutually, while the contract with General Atlantic Group was discounted in the absence of regulatory approvals. According to sources, the deadline in the market cap of PNB Housing Finance in the aftermath of the ILFS crisis was considered to be one of the primary reasons for aborting the deal. The government will beginning Monday auction 5 mineral blocks in Gujarat and Karnataka, having reserves of 667.2 billion tons. The development assumes significance in the wake of the center, asking each state having mineral resources to identify at least 5 new mining projects for auction with pre-embedded clearance on a pilot basis, with a view to expediting the sale process as well as operationalization of the blocks. While the auction of one mineral block in Karnataka will begin on Monday, The sale of other 4 mines will commence on Thursday and last till July 8, according to the government documents. The notice inviting tender for Kannur limestone block in Karnataka was floated in November, while that for 4 limestone mines in Gujarat was out on March 19. The Mines Ministry had recently released guidelines for the auction of mineral blocks with pre-embedded clearances, as it explored ways to address the key issues of delay in mining production due to lack of various approvals, such as forest and environment permissions. The identified blocks would be auctioned along with other blocks without pre-embedded clearances. Under the guidelines, the center has asked states to set up a project monitoring unit to complete the preparatory work for obtaining requisite clearances, approvals, and related work. The unit would obtain all the clearances for starting a mining project. Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman had earlier announced various structural reforms in the mining sector as part of over 20 lakh crore stimulus package to boost growth and job creation. She had announced auction of 500 blocks and introduction of a seamless composite exploration cum mining cum production regime. So far, 97 mining leases have been allocated through auctions since 2015. That's all for now. Keep watching K News. This is Hardik Trivedi taking your leave. Be alert, be positive, be safe.